Full recline.
So good.
That's 11.
So what exactly is a concussion?
Concussion is a brain injury and it can affect your ability to think and move.
It can come from body impact or head impact.
What happens if I ignore a concussion?
If you ignore a concussion, it does have an effect on your daily life.
You could be sidelined for a lot longer.
We're at a higher risk of making yourself worse.
I think in sort of like general rugby sense, it kind of just makes you a worse off player.
Some people experience vomiting and you're just not in the right kind of headspace.
Why is rest so important?
I think rest is important because it just gives our body and our mind time to heal.
First 48 hours are really crucial, and that you make sure that you rest as much as you can.
You don't want to see a friend struggling later on in life due to decisions that he made with his concussion during footy now. So
It's important that you do follow those guidelines.
I think ignoring a concussion isn't worth it at all.
What does recovery even mean?
That you take a break mentally and physically.
And then slowly build back up.
A great way is to follow the New Zealand Rugby graduated return to play process.
Will it stop me from going to school and work?
Depending on how bad your symptoms are, you may have to take a step back.
Anything that could make your brain work too hard, such as schoolwork or even work in general, you could find yourself making your symptoms worse.
what is the concussion recovery process?
Resting, you start avoiding physical tasks or anything that makes your symptoms worse.
Progressing to light exercise like walking.
Just slowly building up towards fitness.
Introduce non-contact training such as ball skills.
You should get medically cleared, especially before you start returning to contact training.
All's going well, then you can return to play.
How long does a concussion actually last?
The minimum amount of days it takes is 21 days for your body to recover and heal before you return to play.
People with brains still developing, it can take a lot longer, especially people under the age of 19. They'll have to be a bit more patient with their recovery.
If you don't prioritise your recovery, your concussion time will last longer.
Make sure that you stick to the process.
Take as much time as you need to recover. It's something that you have to get right.
What if your symptoms get worse, not better?
If you start feeling yourself get worse, you should taper back a bit and go back a step in the recovery process.
After a few weeks, if you're not getting any better, you'll definitely go back and talk to the doctor.
What if I can't follow the recovery process?
Recovery process doesn't have to be perfect as long as you are being consistent.
Key thing is to not try and push too hard through things if you're not quite ready.
If you ain't honest, then things could take longer and get worse.
How do you deal with having to sit on the sideline?
Sitting on the sidelines can be quite difficult, but looking after your brain is most important.
Lots of people have been in that situation, so make sure you stay connected.
Give yourself some time to focus on something else that makes you happy and also clears your mental as well.
Get outside, get some fresh air, go for walks if you're at that stage.
You can practice your passing, kicking. If you're a hooker, you can do your throws. There's so many things you can do that aren't contact to help elevate your game.
How do you say no to things that aren't going to help your recovery?
Surrounding yourself with the right people that will help you in your journey.
It's going to be hard, but you need to make sure you listen to your body and your brains.
Being young, like FOMO is a real thing, and there's going to be times that you are going to miss out because you've got concussions.
I think those times are always going to come around and you just have to, suck it up and say no to them.
And that can be hard at times with teammates, even coaches, trying to push you back early, but I guess it's all about yourself.
Rugby's only a short part of our lives, and what we do now can affect what happens down the road.
Stick with it. Stick with it.
How can I help a mate who's concussed?
Firstly, be a good mate, text them, give them a message.
You can just see how they're going or see if there's anything you can do to help to make the recovery process a bit easier.
Understanding that they have a process to follow and not pressuring them, at trainings.
Run an errand for them that they can't do at the time. Just little things like that will help so much.
Ask them to go for coffee or something that's light-hearted, but just making sure that you are there for them.
As a friend, you're just another support system to help them get back.
We all have a responsibility to call out a concussion and make sure it's not ignored.
Everyone in rugby has a role to make concussion hard to ignore.
How do we create a supportive team environment?
It is our job as team players to make them still feel part of the team.
I think it's important that the team and the coaches still get around those players, because sometimes you can feel isolated.
Make sure they have all the support around them and don't pressure them to return to rugby.
Make them feel included, but also not turn a blind eye to what they're going through.
You're not letting the team down in any way if you can't come back sooner.